Poekilopleuron. Poekilopleuron, meaning varied ribs, is a genus of megalosauroid dinosaur, which lived during the Middle Bathonian of the Jurassic, about 168 to 166 million years ago. The genus has been used under many different spelling variants, although only one, Poekilopleuron, is valid. The type species is P. bucklandii, named after William Buckland, and many junior synonyms of it have also been erected. Few material is currently known, as the holotype was destroyed in World War II, although many casts of the material still exist. Discovery and naming. Poekilopleuron is a genus of theropod with a long and complex history. The genus was first named and described by Jacques-Amandre de Longchamp in a report published in 1836, based on holotype material that is now destroyed. In 1837, de Longchamp published a more detailed account of this discovery in a monograph which was also inserted next year in Volume 6 of the Mémoires de la Société en Normandie. The holotype, which was housed in Musée de la Faculté des Sciences de Caen and destroyed during World War II, included gastralia, phalanges, a left forelimb, caudal vertebrae, chevrons, ribs and a hindlimb. Of all the material, few is still preserved, although the gastralia, phalanges and forelimb were cast and now represent the plastotype, with casts in the Muséum National d'Histoire Naturelle, specimen MNHN 1897-2, and Yale Peabody Museum, specimen YPM 4938. The original material was uncovered in a layer of the Calcaire de Caen in Normandy, France. Poekilopleuron can be assigned to the Middle Bathonian in age, about 167.7 to 166 million years ago. In the same 1836 publication, de Longchamp also named the type species of Poekilopleuron, P. bucklandii. De Longchamp noted similarities with some material of Megalosaurus bucklandii and Poekilopleuron, and chose the species name bucklandii for Poekilopleuron, so that if the two genera were synonymized, only the genus name would be suppressed. The generic name is derived from Greek pi omicron kappa iota lambda omicron sigma, poekilos, varied, and pi lambda epsilon upsilon rho nu, pleuron, rib, a reference to the three types of rib present. The specific name, honoring William Buckland, was deliberately identical to that of Megalosaurus bucklandii. Description. The most distinctive feature of Poekilopleuron were its forelimbs. Their length, about 60 centimeters, was a sign of this theropod's more original build. Unlike later theropoda, whose forelimbs tended toward reduction in length in proportion to the animal's size, Poekilopleuron's were long and, by implication, potent. The length mostly resided in the elongated but powerfully muscled humerus. The antebrachia, forearms, were markedly short and robust, a characteristic shared with Poekilopleuron's slightly later and considerably larger American cousin Torvosaurus. A unique feature is a lack of the olecranon process on the ulna. The fossil of Poekilopleuron showed a rare complete set of gastralia, 14 pair of belly ribs supported the body of the animal. Classification. Poekilopleuron is a difficult taxon to classify, as its original material is lost, and few casts are known. Poekilopleuron has a history of being renamed under different species and genera, most of which are now its junior synonyms. De Longchamp thought the specimen might well be proven to belong to this earlier named species. If so, merely the generic name would have to be changed. Indeed, following 1879 Poekilopleuron was often subsumed under Megalosaurus bucklandii. De Longchamp's choice caused problems however, when Friedrich von Huene in 1923 concluded it was part of Megalosaurus but as a separate species within the genus. As both species carried the same epithet bucklandii, they could no longer be distinguished. Von Huene therefore renamed the species into Megalosaurus Poekilopleuron. Most later authors continued using the generic name Poekilopleuron. Another problem was caused by the fact that the name was only partially Latinized. In correct Greek it would have been Poekilopleuron, in Latin Poecilopleurum. This induced later writers to improve the spelling, leading to such variants as Poecilopleuron and Poekilopleuron, still used as late as 2006. However, the original name has priority and is valid. 5 other species would be named in the genus. In 1869 Edward Drinker Cope renamed Laelaps gallicus into Poekilopleuron gallicum. In 1870 Joseph Leidy created a Poecilopleuron valens based on a fossil probably belonging to Allosaurus. In 1876 Richard Owen named a Poekilopleuron pusillus, in 1879 renamed by Cope to Poekilopleuron minor, in 1887 Harry Govier Seeley made it a separate genus, Aristosuchus. In 1883 W. A. Kipriya now created a Poekilopleuron schmidti, of which the specific name honors Friedrich Schmidt, based on some indeterminate ribs and a sauropod metatarsal. This chimera is a nomen dubium. A much later named species is Poekilopleuron vallistonensis created by Ronan Lane in 2002. In 2005 it was renamed Dubrosaurus. Because the original fossil was destroyed and no other remains of Poekilopleuron have since been found, and also because of its name change, there is much controversy surrounding its classification that cannot be resolved. Traditionally it has been assigned to the megalosauroidae, but some recent analyses showed a position in the Sinoraptoridae, others had as result it was a member of Megalosauroidea, in a basal position or in the Eustreptospondylinae. Benson et al. 2010, found it in Lurinhanosaurus to belong to Sinoraptoridae. An earlier study found that it was a primitive allosauroid outside Sinoraptoridae. Paleobiology. The material of Poekilopleuron bucklandii includes two tail vertebrae with the chevron of one vertebra ankylosed to the centrum of the next within the development of an exostosis. Two phalanges also preserved pathologies. One probable pedal phalanx shows three low, irregular exostosis-like projections. A second probable manual phalanx exhibits a low rounded projection resembling a callus. Ralph Molnar considered the occurrence of three pathologies in one individual to be noteworthy. Sadly, the specimens cannot be examined further to determine the etiology of the pathologies because of their destruction during the British bombing raid in 1944.